Can I just ask you something really quickly? The coffee machine in this office is actually disgusting. Should it have that thick consistency? I'm talking mud. I'm supposed to clean out the coffee machine? Put down your coffee cup. I've been here for 3 years. I've never done that. You're drinking coffee from 2022. How's that taste? Yeah. From the Vox Media Podcast Network and The Cut, this is Tefi Talks. I'm like in my grungy era. I'm feeling very emo today because I'm on Bambi TikTok where I am getting like fan edits of Bambi losing his mom. I have been crying nonstop. And I am telling you, I'm not pressing, not interested. I'm watching them all the way through. I don't know what it is. So I cried. I woke up, my eyes were little buttholes. So that's emotionally like where I am today. So I'm setting off the podcast in a light vibe, light energy. Support for the show comes from Dove. Most of us have tried a lot of different deodorants in our lives. Finding the perfect aluminum-free deodorant that actually works can feel impossible. Enter Dove Aluminum Free. It's free of aluminum, parabens, and baking soda. Gentle to skin, and it'll keep you smelling fresh for 72 hours. So finally, the search is over. An aluminum-free deodorant that won't let you down. Find your one true Dove. Choose Dove aluminum-free deodorant for 72-hour freshness and odor protection. Buy online at dove.com or at a retailer near you. Besides talking about myself, our time together before you get to work and do actual work, boo, we like to talk about showbiz. Because in showbiz, there's a saying, there's no business like business that isn't mine. Let's talk about some headlines that caught my eye this week, shall we? Millie Bobby Brown and her husband, Jake Bon Jovi, are parents. On Thursday, Millie Bobby Brown posted the announcement on Instagram, and it says, and I quote, "This summer, we welcomed our sweet baby girl through adoption. We are beyond excited to embark on this beautiful next chapter of parenthood in both peace and privacy." British people say it that way. Millie Bobby Brown and Jake are 21 and 23. They got married last summer, and they are already parents to 62 pets, including a pregnant donkey and a disabled dog who's becoming, quote, becoming unblind. Am I lazy? If you asked me to answer an email right now and tie my shoelaces or take off my socks, I'd pass out. What? In the morning when I wake up and my cat is like, feed me, I'm like, I can't. You're asking so much of me. You're kidding me. You mean to tell me that Millie Bobby Brown is waking up in the morning, going through the adoption process, which takes for freaking ever. Don't question me. I've given it a Google. Gets up, grabs her feed for her animals, takes care of her pregnant donkey, puts a stethoscope to her ears, and makes sure that there's a heartbeat. That's what I imagine because I'm obsessed with Dr. Dolittle, okay? Also, make sure that the wheels on her disabled dog's wheelchair aren't squeaky with the E40. You're kidding. What? I'm so lazy. I got a robot litter box for my cat. I can't be bothered. You're telling me that while Millie Bobby Brown is feeding her animals, she's also learning script lines for the upside down world? Is that what they call it in Stranger Things? The upside down world? You know what the upside down world is? The United States today. We're not going to talk about that. I think Millie Bobby Brown is an angel. And I do remember her doing many interviews, especially when she first got engaged, telling people, I just feel like very grown for my age, which sets off alarms for me. When people are like, oh, you're such an old soul to other people, I'm like, oh, she's like, that's trauma. Millie Bobby Brown, I think, if I could just talk to you for a second, I think you would be an incredible Britney Spears. I think you would kill it. And that is easily the nicest thing I've ever said to anybody, because you know who's always wanted that role? Speaking of daddies, Post Malone. Yeah. He's the only Chipotle bag I want to put my hand in. The tattoos are scattered, but I'm into the vibe, okay? He just stripped down for a SKIMS campaign. Post Malone is posted in his panty. Yes! We've got Posty in camo underwear, standing in the Utah wilderness, giving man that knows you're just passing through a small town but would love to buy you a beer in like a non-creepy way. It's like, oh no, I'm just a girl who's inherited an inn, but I live in the big city with my big-time lawyer, successful fiance. But what's missing? Some kind of spark? I don't know. I just want to be happy. But when I'm at the inn, fixing it up, I run into this lumberjack. What's this? Chemistry? No! But no, I have a life back in the big city. This isn't what I'm meant for. Have you seen the paparazzi pics of him like just having a cigarette and a wine in Paris at a cafe? So chic for what? So chic. He does an interview with GQ about the experience. He says that at first it was terrifying. To prepare for the shoot, he just ate a lot of fried chicken trying to bulk up. Me every luteal phase. Right now. He says, I've never done anything like that. It's like Sasquatch sighting, essentially. That's what it feels like. Everyone's going to call it into the cops and say, we saw Bigfoot out here, or average foot. Okay, well, I'll be the judge of that. Post it. Post it, Post Malone, post it. Come closer, post it. Post it, let me see it. Let me see it. I'll tell you. Post it, post it, post it, post it. Can I call you Post Malone? Austin? Okay, so Post Malone is no stranger to the song of the summer, but let's go back for a second. It's the summer of 2009. The Hangover is in theaters. The iPhone 3GS just came out, and my ex is what? Cheating on me with it. You just poked your crush on Facebook. Kanye West has not yet interrupted Taylor Swift at the VMAs, but he's going to in September. And the song of the summer is I Got a Feeling by the Black Eyed Peas. 2009, summer of 2009, #1 for 14 weeks. Insane. I miss it every day. This year, okay, Labor Day weekend is coming up, and the news outlets are reporting that there has been no song of the summer. The idea of the song of the summer being dead is crazy. I will never, ever forget hearing Umbrella for the first time and being like, this is a song of the summer. Knowing the song of the summer is the diamond of the season. The diamond of the season. Your daughter, she's the diamond of the season. I miss Bridgerton. I do. Okay, so news outlets are reporting that because of TikTok, there's not like one chart, no like monoculture of pop music anymore. I don't know if you've ever seen the manic feral froth drool insane fandoms on the Twitter, but these charts mean everything to them. I will never tussle with a fandom on Twitter ever again. For the Miley Cyrus fans to bite into my jugular and rip it out for a second, crazy. They are so feral, and these charts, that's how they fight with one another. There needs to be like a deep dive investigative journalism moment for these fandoms. I want you to go into people's houses and I want to see these fandoms like rooms. And by rooms, I mean basements. Ma, the meatloaf! So this year at #1, we have the song The Ordinary. It's been #1 for 9 of the last 10 weeks. Following Ordinary, it's not The Ordinary. The Ordinary is a skincare line at Sephora. It's just called Ordinary. I'm so sorry, Alex Warren. I'll sing it for you. No, I can't. But spots 2, 3, and 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 is Morgan Wallen. I've never listened to one Morgan Wallen song. In more hopeful news, Austin Butler is trying to get away from method acting. After nearly 5 years, it's already been 5 years, stuck with the voice of Elvis Presley. The real reason why is because method acting is costing Austin his health. And mine. Every time I hear it, I'm like, use your real voice. Austin Butler is on the set of Elvis, and he is rushed to the hospital. He says it felt like he had appendicitis, but it was a virus. On the set of the movie The Bike Riders, he had a migraine. So intense. He temporarily went blind, and he said he genuinely thought that he was dying. The only other time I've heard someone say that they were going blind is when my friend did ecstasy in 2005. But anyway, during his press tour, we're back to Austin, okay? During his press tour for Dune, he started walking with his toes curled under, and he did that for 8 months because of a sharp pain in his foot. He goes to a doctor in New York and later found a shard of glass. I was going to say a shard of glass. A shard of glass in his foot. Austin did an interview with Men's Health, the last person you should be talking to. This does not sound Men's Health. This sounds like Men's Demise. He says, for a long time, I felt it had to be a tortured process and I would come out on the other side broken. I don't know if I respect method acting because I just feel like men are coming up with more ways to cheat on their wives. I'll explain. I went to a party. I was still trying to meet new friends. And there was this girl, and she was telling me how she's married to this actor, and he just got a role in Europe about a sex addict. And then she told me he's a method actor. I said, Caroline, tell your husband to come back right now. If you're going to be method acting orgies, you better win the Cannes, Venice Film Festival, Oscar, Emmy, it's not even a TV show, and Golden Globe before I beat you over the head with it. Imagine your man's like, I want to get into acting. I'm choosing method. I'm going to Europe for all of June. Please. So Austin Butler is suffering, okay? Who's helping him break out of method acting? None other than Laura Dern. I love talking about Laura Dern. I love thinking about Laura Dern. Every time I think about Laura Dern, I'm immediately in a good mood. Austin says, she's helping me more and more to see that you can come out on the other side of acting. And maybe bits of you have healed and synthesized and metabolized. It can be therapeutic in a way. And this isn't Laura Dern's first time around the block bettering the lives of everyone, especially the men in her life, which is probably exhausting. Let's talk more about Laura Dern after this break. Support for the show comes from Dove. We're all looking for those peak-defining experiences. The moment when you're out dancing and your favorite song comes on, the sunset stroll through an unfamiliar city with no destination in mind, or the afternoon coffee date that turns into a whole weekend, you naughty girl. Your deodorant should be worthy of all the amazing adventures you take it on. And now it is with Dove aluminum-free deodorant with scents like coconut and pink jasmine and cucumber and green tea. Dove aluminum-free deodorant offers long-lasting freshness with 72-hour odor protection. It glides on smooth and clear, and it's free of aluminum, baking soda, parabens, so you can give your underarms the same level of care you give the rest of your body. Dove aluminum-free deodorant lets you be the most confident version of you so that when your next peak experience comes along, you're ready to dive in. The search is over. An aluminum-free deodorant that won't let you down. Find your one true Dove. Choose Dove, aluminum-free deodorant for 72-hour freshness and odor protection. Buy online at dove.com or at a retailer near you. Today's deep dive is Laura Dern's love life. She keeps improving the life of the men around her, but I don't think they improve hers. One of the first public relationships Laura Dern was in was with Kyle MacLachlan. Kyle MacLachlan and Laura Dern met in 1985 on the set of their thriller, Blue Velvet. As a final step in the audition process for the movie, Blue Velvet, Kyle and Laura meet for a chemistry lunch, which is what I'm going to start calling dates now. So they meet for this chemistry lunch per the request of the director, David Lynch. Laura remembered, quote, "We ordered malts and french fries, and David was doodling on napkins while Kyle was doodling away with a knife into his ketchup. And I mean, a girl either goes, these are really bizarre men, and they are twin souls, or I'm in love with both of these people, and I want to spend the rest of my life with them, which is how I responded," end quote. And what I would say is, this reminds me of Girl Interrupted. Kyle says the relationship did not end well. And despite that, let's listen to the words here. And despite that, she was very kind and very understanding. This is when Laura was 18 and she dated him till she was 22. And Kyle was 26 when they started dating and 30 when they broke up. Let's listen. Kyle talks about their breakup and says, "I felt bad about it, but anyway, we have gotten back together. We're great friends now." What the fuck did you do? What did you say, sir? What did you say to my baby? My gorgeous, perfect angel. Dare you. What did you do? She was very kind and understanding. Kyle also adds, quote, "She's got the best sense of humor." Yeah, she had to. You put her in that position, huh? She's smart, beautiful, empathetic, And she's also got this bit of a body side to her humor, B-A-W-D-Y, which I think she gets from her mom and her dad, certainly. Again, B-A-W-D-Y. What did you think? I thought all curves, no breaks. No, body means raunchy in a lighthearted way. But I also think she's got a little body on her now. Laura! But their bad ending, what did you do, is ultimately fine because she went on to film Wild at Heart. I love that movie. So good. And on that set, she meets Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern are rumored to have dated after starring in Wild at Heart together in 1990-ish. Okay? Which is crazy because in last week's episode, we did a deep dive on Nicolas Cage. And who's he related to? Sofia Coppola. And it gives me great joy to imagine Laura Dern and Sofia Coppola at dinner, giggling, laughing. People are doubtful that they did date because in 2004, Laura does an interview where she compared filming that movie to getting a college education and that Nicolas Cage was, quote, hysterical, generous, and supportive. And then she goes, I just love him. He's great. I love him. He's great is not something someone would say about a crush or an ex-lover. That's something I would leave on like a TaskRabbit review, which leads me to think maybe he just wasn't that good of a lay. Nicolas Cage calls Laura Dern, quote, almost frighteningly well-adjusted, especially considering the world she grew up in. What's that, Tefi? Yes, you heard that right. Laura Dern is a Nepo baby. And I don't care. I don't care. This is the thing about Nepo babies. It's okay to admit that you had an easier, like, chutes and ladders. Is that like the game? Like, it's okay to admit that you had like easier steps to get in the door, but staying within that door is not easy. And Laura Dern, to me, she is the door. I love her. So many members of Laura Dern's family, including but not limited to Laura Dern's parents, had illustrious careers. Laura's father, Bruce Dern, he is a 2-time Oscar nominee and legend. His grandpa was the Secretary of War under FDR. Eleanor Roosevelt was his babysitter. And his uncle was Pulitzer Prize-winning poet Archibald MacLeish. Laura Dern's mom is Diane Ladd. She's also an actor. She has a huge family and was from the South. One of Diane's distant cousins was prolific playwright Tennessee Williams, who helped her get her first acting gigs. It's the least you could do. It's the least you could do. Her maternal grandmother was always on set with her when her parents were growing up. So when Nicolas Cage was shocked that she was so normal, this is what he means. Her family lore is insane. Nicolas Cage also convinced her to do her next movie, Jurassic Park. Can we cue the Jurassic Park theme song so I can just feel something? This is Jurassic Park. If you could put that music in a vial. And if we also remember from last week's episode, Nicolas Cage loves dinosaurs, and he spent hundreds, not a couple, hundreds of thousands of dollars on a dinosaur skull that he later had to return because it was illegally moved from Mongolia. And by illegally moved, I mean stolen. Stolen. Laura remembers talking to Nick about Jurassic Park. Quote, I said to him, Nick, they want to put me on the phone with Steven Spielberg, but they want to talk to me about a dinosaur movie. And Nicolas Cage says, you are doing a dinosaur movie. No one can ever say no to a dinosaur movie. Are you kidding? It's a dream of my life to do a movie with dinosaurs. So Lauren says, Nicolas was like a huge influence on me. Thank God for Nicolas Cage. Things I've never said. Laura Dern started filming Jurassic Park with Jeff Goldblum, who I hear is a fantastic interview. Steven Spielberg, who directed Jurassic Park, says that it is in Laura's nature to attract whoever she wants. That's a good nature to have, Laura. He says this, I was surprised that Laura has a dark, devilish, lustful sense of humor, which drives all the guys out of their minds. I think Jeff was so driven out of his that he simply had to do something about it. Laura, you are so chic, bitch. You are so chic. You are who everyone thinks like Angelina Jolie is. Isn't that crazy? Oh, and there is a tie to that. Wait, Tefi, your mind. You're like Madame Web, but a good movie. Jeff admits that he was a big fan of hers before. Duh. But it wasn't until after the movie that he realized that they liked each other. You know what? I think it's a lie. I think you had a girlfriend during the movie, Jeff, and that's why you have to say that. I think that's a fucking lie. After filming, Laura and Jeff got engaged in 1995 and amicably broke off their engagement 2 years later. But listen to this. A 1997 which is what I call Entertainment Weekly, article paints a picture of what they were like as a couple. I need you to sit and listen to this. It is insane. You smell like sandalwood, murmurs Jeff Goldblum as he sniffs Laura Dern's hair in the rather restrained restaurant of LA's Four Seasons Hotel. Dern, her leopard-spotted Dolce & Gabbana pants pressed against his lanky frame, responds softly. Guys, this is a quote. This is a quote from She responds softly. Do you like my manicure? I did it with my teeth. Only Laura Dern could make biting your fingernails down to the bone sound sexy. You know what I'd say? Let me smell them. What? Who said that? Quote, the former lovers and Jurassic Park co-stars smooch noisily, hamming it up. I love Jeff, says the 30-year-old Dern after he exits. What's even more juicy, you ask? I'll tell you. Laura and Jeff had already broken off their engagement at the time of this interview. Making out at the Four Seasons, pants against the hip. Dry humping. Sorry, I had to do that. I got taken away. What do I always say? Actors on sets are just orgies. They are orgies. What did Sandra Bullock say? I've said it before when she's like, can you blame actors being on sets and the chemistry? I can blame actors, and that's why I tell people I'm dating, if you ever get a role, you're going to be acting via Zoom. You better hope and pray that they need someone on the Zoom. That's what you'll be doing. And me right next to you, like this. You need a line? That's going to be me. No! But the real pain had yet to come. And he came in the shape of Billy Bob Thornton. Laura Dern and Billy Bob Thornton are speculated to have met on the puppy episode of The Ellen DeGeneres Show, which was famously Ellen's coming out episode that aired in 1997. At this time, Billy Bob was in the middle of a divorce with his fourth wife, Laura. Can I call you Laura? Laura. What are we thinking, sweetheart? Let me tuck your hair behind your ear. What are you doing? What are you doing? No. And things between Laura and him moved really quickly. I'm sure it does. He's been married 4 times. And the two got engaged at some point in their 2 years of dating. All of this screeches to a halt when Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob co-starred on the set of a 1999 movie called Pushing Tin. In May of 2000, Angelina and Billy Bob went to Vegas and got married. To Laura's absolute shock, Billy Bob did not let Laura know that he was marrying Angelina Jolie. Laura apparently did not have a clue that there was anything romantic happening between Angelina and Billy Bob. Laura says in an interview not long after, quote, I left our home to work on a movie, and while I was away, my boyfriend got married, and I've never heard from him again. I'm going to say it again. I left to work on a movie, and while I was at work, my boyfriend married Angelina Jolie, and nobody let her know. I would hope and pray that all of you would pay for my commissary. I'm not going to jail. I'm going to prison with this BAWDY. It was also made worse because Billy Bob and Angelina, had zero chill. She never does. They had matching vials of blood, which toxically I think is sexy. Okay. And they wore these vials of blood around their necks on a red carpet at a movie premiere. I remember it like it was yesterday. Even worse, Laura and Angelina, hear me when I say they have known each other from childhood. You forget that Angelina is also a Nepo baby who also has kept her feet in the door. I also love her. Women's rights and women's wrongs. And Laura used to babysit Angelina Jolie when she was 8 years old, and Angelina was 2. There are levels to this. Not jail, prison. Well, Angie and Billy Bob were getting fucking dicky. Laura Dern and Grammy award-winning musician Ben Harper, who, by the way, I thought was the Broadway kid that just sang Diet Pepsi at the Cool Turistas podcast, the one that's in theater camp, the son of the Broadway guy. I thought that was Ben Harper. I was like, how old is this guy? It's not. Ben Harper and Laura Dern meet in December of 2000, 6 months into dating. Laura gets pregnant with her first child. They continue to keep their relationship super private, and they had a second child in 2004. In 2005, they get married in a small private ceremony in Los Angeles. Dern's 38, Harper's 36. You like that? Last names. By 2010, they had separated, and then Ben files for divorce in October of the same year. They briefly got back together because no one can quit Laura Dern, tale as old as time, and then they divorced officially in 2013. Laura did talk about how her divorce informed her role in Marriage Story, and I'm going to dance like Scarlett for a second. I've been practicing. That's good. I think it's really... I'm not going to do it again, Bryn. Put the phone down. Anyway, she says when she first talked to director Noah Baumbach, he said he wanted to tell a love story where endings were not failures. Laura says, quote, and that really moved me and struck me deeply. So to my amazing divorced parents and my amazing step-parents and my amazing children who came from love despite an ending in a marriage, we're so privileged to redefine what family looks like. And I agree. You know who did that for me? Mrs. Doubtfire. 'Twas a drive-by fruiting. Since then, Laura Dern has made a lot of, quote, good friends, which she is so iconic. She was rumored to be dating Common the rapper. Yeah. After they were spotted together in 2016, who she called just my friend. She was also photographed kissing former NBA player Baron Davis outside the Beverly Hills Hotel in 2017, and someone close to Laura Dern told People magazine at the time, they're good friends. I'd call it a best friend. I've never ever kissed my friends. But if I kiss someone, we're just friends. I love that. Since then, there have been no more good friends, except for maybe Bradley Cooper, who she called an amazing friend in 2019. And what I say to that is, you guys were not using condoms. That's what I think. And amazing friends, y'all fucking raw. That was disrespectful to you, Laura. That was disrespectful to you, Laura. But I must be honest. Won't you? And we'll be continuing our Dern mania for this episode with Consider the Science after this break. Thanks to Dove for their support. Most of us know what it's like to feel like you found the one, only to be let down. I'm not talking about your love life. I'm talking about your deodorant. Dove aluminum-free deodorant will keep you feeling and smelling fresh for up to 72 hours. It's free of aluminum, parabens, and baking soda, and it's gentle on your skin. The search is over. An aluminum-free deodorant that won't let you down. Find your one true Dove. Choose Dove, aluminum-free deodorant for 72-hour freshness and odor protection. Buy online at dove.com or at a retailer near you. Welcome to Let's Consider the Science, where we get in the lab and dissect astrology charts. This week, let's look at Laura Dern's chart. Laura Dern's sun is in Aquarius. She's eccentric, she's kind-hearted, she's sensitive, and deeply curious. Laura meeting Kyle MacLachlan at age 18, watching him doodle with a knife in ketchup, and her being like, I think I love him. Babe, that's not love. That is an Aquarius sun moment. This is the queen of falling for strange and poetic, and I love that about her. Aquarius suns don't want stability. No. They want chemistry lunches, where a man can draw out a heart in ketchup, and she thinks, I'm home. The Aquarius is known as the humanitarian of the zodiac. They're always thinking about humanity objectively. Unfortunately, most air signs are the people you ask to side with you in an argument with another friend, and they go, I can see their side. How dare you? Et tu, Brute? This is why Laura Dern was willing to do something so risky at the time. Being a lesbian on TV was crazy. Ellen said herself that she could not get work, and she felt guilty because it also affected Laura Dern. But Laura Dern, what? Her third eye was wide open as an Aquarius sun. She's like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. She could not foresee Ellen being a terror to work with, and that's not Laura's fault. Laura's moon is in Pisces. Pisces moons, we've talked about it. They romanticize things. Being a Pisces moon makes so much sense for Laura Dern. They romanticize everything. Let's think about the quote we just read in the deep dive where she says, I always had this fantasy of falling for the leading man. It makes sense for a Pisces moon. She's also very intelligent. And even from a young age, everyone called her wise beyond her years. Millie Bobby Brown, I'm so worried about you. She is who Kyle MacLachlan ended the relationship badly with, and she was still, quote, very kind about it. Laura's Mercury is in Pisces. In astrology, Mercury is the planet of communication, and someone with a Mercury in Pisces is intuitive, open, fluid. Call me. Sometimes Mercury's in Pisces go beyond words into feelings. Feelings are always at the forefront when a Mercury in Pisces is getting their point across. Laura's Venus is in Pisces. Oh my God, she's such a lover girl. She is a lover girl through and through. Venus in Pisces means that she definitely believes in soulmates. She falls in love easily and doesn't necessarily protect herself in the process. She falls chest first. Do you like this? How's this look? Looking good? Thank you. This is why she was engaged to people like Billy Bob Thornton after 4 failed marriages. But failures in marriage don't mean failures in life. We get it. Venus in Pisces doesn't run from red flags. In fact, she sews them into a quilt and calls it intimacy. My Laura. And lastly, Laura's Mars is in Libra, which can be tough. It's a little stifled, feels a little French press. What's it called when you... So a Mars in Libra means energetically she prefers to keep the peace. Libra is literally the balances, right? She has a diplomatic nature. Thank God for everyone who's wronged her. Thank God, Kyle. Thank God. She also shows restraint during conflict as a means of control, which is something, write that down, I have to learn. Must learn how to restrain mouth. Actually, I like myself. Laura will probably also withdraw from a situation before confronting it head on. She takes her time. She wants to think about what she has to say. She can out-cold you in any conflict. And I'm sure this is why she's so good at playing Renata Klein on Big Little Lies. I will not be poor. Her confrontation, and quite frankly, cunty with a K, was lying dormant and wanting to be unleashed. And now, can I be a bitch for a second? I've been working out my whole life. I think I started working out at like 11. That's no one's fault but my own. Whatever. I want to blame society, but whatever. I blame society. But this is the thing. I have been working out for so long, and what pains me is that I have to continue. That's insane to me. It's insane to me. I need to talk to God for a second. Can you pass the phone? Can I talk to God for a second? 1, hey. 2, this is my idea. Once somebody works out for 3,000 hours, we should cut it and they just keep that body. 3,000 hours, I think that's plenty. If I've been working out 4 or 5 times a week since I was 10 years old, how many hours is that? I think about 3K. Don't ask me to math right now, not when I'm upset. It's making me Mr. Krabs meme. Because tonight, I have to go to the gym and go for a run. I don't want to squat again. Do you know what it's like in your luteal phase, Googling Romanian deadlift? Now it's time for Desk to Drinks, presented by Dove. Let me paint a scenario for you. You're at work all day and your work bestie comes up to you and says, hey, you know our favorite Mexican place, the one across the street? You go, yeah, duh. Happy hour is now half off. Wait, but I can't go to happy hour like this because I stink. My deodorant's not going to last me that long. Silly girl, gay or they. I've got the solution for you. Enter Dove. Look how beautiful they are. Look how gorgeous. And they're so protecting. You want to feel fresh after work when you're on your desk, ready to go to drinks? And Dove is your answer. Dove's your girl. So what have we learned? Millie is very, very, very busy and her donkey is about to give birth. Mazel. Post Malone is in his panty. Austin is trying to method act as a normal person now, thanks to Laura Dern, who is chic. That's it for today. How was that? Now you have to go to your normal job. Ew. And I have to fax something. I don't even know if people fax anymore. Oh well. If you're not already following the show, find us everywhere at Tefi Talks. We're on YouTube and all podcast platforms, and Instagram and TikTok, like all the cool girls. So you can share with your other bestie. Ew. And I don't mean that as Entertainment Weekly. I mean it as disgust.